holding you down and keeping you on point. Breakdown FM, the only station in the nation that's down by law. On all day play.
Question to you. Hip-hop and violence. How have you seen that? I mean, hip-hop has always been maligned and always, I mean, almost from day one, they say it's a violent music. And now that with the emergence of what people call gangster rap, and
I don't know what that is, but go ahead.
Okay, well, with the emergence of what some people define as gangster rap, and then the untimely death of Tupac, there are people that are saying that's even more proof. And how would you define this? What's this relationship with violence in hip hop, or is there one?
Okay, well, see, this is the thing. This is the way that I see it. Hip hop has always been a dynamo. It has always been energetic. It's the only genre of music where when we hit a stage, the objective is to get everybody as hyped as possible. That has been the objective. That's why hip-hop works so well with an audience. Now, with the violence mixed in between, I would personally feel that the business aspect has played a role.
In what sense?
Meaning that you have some people in the music business, the ones who have the power to sign artists, say, listen, this is what we want you to do, and okay, this is how we want you to do it. Like they would plant a negative seed. This is how I want you to do it because the guy across town is doing it this way. So I want you to escalate it to this. And then the guy across
they would
town
fabricate
says,
it.
Huh?
They would set the stage.
Right. Set the stage. And then, the thing about it is that what's happening so much is that we are arguing amongst each other so much. When the bottom line is, I don't care what executives is hitting now or hitting then or whatever the case may be. 9 times out of 10, we don't truly own it. We're an offspring of an owner.
Okay.
So all the owners see is, well, all right, they're fighting amongst each other, it's causing controversy, but long as it's on the records, they don't care. But we have to take responsibility to say, hold up, wait a minute. This thing has gone too far. Like there's going to always be an element of violence in all the genres of music. It was with rock and roll. It was with all of them. There's going to always be that to some degree. But when it comes to the point where there is a tragedy over it, this scares me. This scares me because if this burns out, all the owners. I'm not talking about the offsprings. I'm talking about all the owners are going to do is just find some new element and back it and sit back and collect the dough.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So we got to stop fighting amongst each other. I think the only risk should be is that taking it to the stage.
Right, who can outperform who? And there were some legendary battles that Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 4 and 5 had. Who were some of those legendary rivals that you had?
Well, I mean, before I was a recording artist, I don't look at it as battles, so to speak, because they were people who took our art form and just took it to their borough.
Right.
Like, for instance, me and Ben Bottom might play in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and Kool Herc might play in the same room. Myself and DJ Breakout might play in the same room.
Right.
Now, the audience might look at it as a battle, fine. But our true battles didn't really come until we started touring.
Really?
That's how I see it.
Now, I heard the battles, though, and when I say battles, I'm talking about who could outperform each other on the stage. I'm talking about Flash, and you guys. I mean, you guys used to take out groups like the Barkays and some of those folks.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Like, for instance, for example, I didn't take the word battle into serious consideration. It was not until we started making records. Mm-hmm. And when we started making records, Davey, we would go into towns and get ready to do sound checks, right? And of course, the other groups will be coming in doing their sound checks, and all we would roll in is turntables and a couple of microphones.
Right.
And they would say stuff like this to us. Oh, you guys must be here for intermission music. These are the kind of things that we used to hear from the groups. Big, large groups.
I'm thinking Lakeside, the Barkays.
I won't say no names, but they know who they are. When they hear this interview, they know who they are. And what we would do is we would take that as a slap in the face. Okay, so they're slapping hip-hop in the face right now.
Right.
So what we would do is we would find out when we were on stage, and when we went on stage, we used the formula of hip-hop. Drain the audience. Get them to clap their hands, say ho, this, that. And as we were leaving off stage, we would knock on the dressing room door of the next person coming up and say, good luck. And we would sit back on side stage and watch them play to a tired, worn-out audience. That's when the battle was on.
Right. Okay.
I had love for Breakout. I had love for Bambaataa. I had love for Bam. I had love for Kool Herc.
But I will tell you, though, from an outside perspective, even though you guys might not call it a battle.
Right, people did.
Yeah, and I remember the legendary, I mean, if there was a rival, and I know that you guys weren't friends, you may have even been cousins. I'm thinking of Grand Wizard Theodore and the Fantastic Romantic Five.
Well, let me put that in perspective. Now, when I was creating this formula, there was a group that I had at the time. This is before the Furious Five was fully formed.
Mm-hmm.
There was Gene Livingston, there was Corey Livingston, and then there was this little kid, their littlest brother, named Theodore Livingston. Now, when I was creating this formula, not everybody truly understood what it was that I was trying to do. But what I would notice is there was this little kid sitting, like watching me do this, because the equipment was in Gene Livingston's house, which was formerly known as the L Brothers. Okay? Now, there was this little kid that used to watch me. But his older brother, which was Gene Livingston, would say, whatever you do, do not let my little brother touch the turntables.
Meaning Theodore.
Right. So now, when Gene used to go to work, I used to sneak Theodore in the room. I said, Theodore, you like doing this, right? Yeah. I said, do you think you can do this? And strangely enough, he had been watching me all the time. And what I would do was put a milk crate under him and let him get up on the turntables. And I watched this kid duplicate what I did. We kept it a secret for a long time, me and Theodore. And then when we did a block party, I stepped to Gene, who was his older brother, and I says, Gene, your little brother would bring us so much more notoriety if we let him get on the turntables. For a long time, Gene Livingston, he resisted because he couldn't catch what it was that I was doing on the turntables.
Right.
Finally, he okayed it, brought that same milk crate and that lunch kitchen table out, and I put some turntables up there, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a look at this so-and-so XYZ. You know, my student, Grand Wizard Theodore.
So that's how that was born.
He did his thing. The crowd went nuts. I mean, because he was a little kid. He couldn't even hardly reach the turntables. And to see him just cutting it and doing all that, you know, it kind of put a damper on his older brother who couldn't catch it.
Right.
So it was a rivalry from there, and then from there, I broke off with the L Brothers, created my own situation. You know what I mean? So it's like I have love for Theodore because he was there.
Right.
You know, I have love for Gene. I have love for all these people that was there. You know, although the audience looked at it as battles whenever me and Theodore was in a room, you know, but he was doing what I did.
Right, and all you all did was just try and do the best performance you could do.
Exactly.
Right. Now let me ask you, because I know we're going to wrap this up. Where do you see hip hop going? Where are we at right now, and where do you see it going?
Davey, I'd have to say, I'm a little afraid right now. I'm a little afraid because now that it has escalated to someone getting the ultimate punishment, which only God is allowed to do, you know what I mean, as far as Tupac dying, you know, nobody has a right to have done that. I mean, I know he has done things, you know, to people that were sort of insulting or maybe not agreeable, but for him to die that there is not good at all. Where is hip-hop going? I'm hoping that, this tragedy will help us to see that we can't fight amongst each other, because we're going to burn it out if we don't stop fighting. So right now I couldn't tell you where hip-hop is going. There's going to be a major summit being held at the mosque on 125th Street and 2nd Avenue in New York City.
And that's happening later this afternoon.
Right. And we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
And we're going to just try to figure out how we can just, put a stop on the violence. Keep the energy, but let's stop fighting amongst each other. It's okay to say, well, I'm better than you, and I can do this better than you, and your thing ain't right, you're not dope, and whatever the case would be, whatever. But when it comes to the point where people got to start getting shot, killed, hurt, that's scary.
And let me ask you one other thing, the business of hip-hop. There's been a lot of stories that said groups like yourself that pioneered were exploited by record companies, that they didn't get their just due. And I would hate to see a Grandmaster Flash 15 years from now talking about he was a pioneer the way that you might see some of these blues artists, but didn't get their just due. What would you say to some of these young people that are coming into the business right now? What would be some of the lessons that you would pass on to them?
The lessons I would pass on to them is that do not let any record company disturb your creative flow. You're not writing for the record company. You're writing for the public, because the public makes you who you are. And then also I would say from a legal perspective, do not enter into any deals unless you are assisted by family and lawyer or lawyer. You know what I mean? Because this thing, which was a dream at one time that eventually became a reality, is now a multi-billion-dollar business. So make sure your business is straight.
Okay. And I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this. Grandmaster Flash, legend. I mean, when I say legend, I mean literally. I mean a legend since 1977 when you first hit the scene. As I said at the beginning of the show, you were the person that set the standard. Your group was the one that all of us, and I remember being a rapper back in 77, 78, we used to listen to the Flash tapes and try and mimic the Melly Mel's, and and be like, having a Flash tape was just even the thing then. Going to a Flash party was the pinnacle of hip-hop at the time, and I'm glad that you were able to join us this morning.
No problem. Now, I also want to let you know, if you are in New York City, I am on radio. I do work at Power 107.5 WBLS, and I do the midday mix, 12 o'clock, Monday through Friday, if you are in New York.
Okay.
All right?
Cool. Hey, Flash, hold on one thing. I want to just do this real quick.
Yes. Now, with the violence mixed in between, I would personally feel that the business aspect has played a role.
In what sense?
Meaning that you have some people in the music business, the ones who have the power to sign artists, say, listen, this is what we want you to do, and okay, this Dynamo it has always been energetic. It's the only genre of music where when we hit a stage, the objective is to get everybody as hyped as possible. That has been the objective. That's why hip-hop works so well with an audience.
Holding you down and keeping you on point. Breakdown FM, the only station in the nation that's down by law. On all day play.
Question to you. Hip-hop and violence. How have you seen that? I mean, hip-hop has always been maligned and always, almost from day one, they say it's a violent music. And now that with the... This
is how we want you to do it. Like they would plant a negative seed. This is how I want you to do it because the guy across town is doing it this way. So I want you to escalate it to this. And then the guy across
they would
town
fabricate
says,
it.
Huh?
They would set the stage.
Right. Set the stage. And then, the thing about it is that what's happening so much is that we are arguing amongst each other so much.
Emergence of what people call gangster rap, and
I don't know what that is, but go ahead.
Okay, well, with the emergence of what some people define as gangster rap, and then the untimely death of Tupac, there are people that are saying that's even more proof. And how would you define this? What's this relationship with violence in hip hop, or is there one?
Okay, well, see, this is the thing. This is the way that I see it. Hip hop has always been a